Vinita, welcome to MPW. And I think that you are used to getting questions about Shark Tank. We're talking about Dealscape, so let's just dive right in. Firstly, how has it changed your life? Season 2 is going strong. And you yourself pitched on the season. And, you always attract a lot of pros and cons, criticism, as well as fan following with the series. What's the latest for you?
I think season 2 definitely got trolled more. To be honest.
Doesn't unnerve you, that kind of trolling?
Absolutely. I've had, I think season 1 prepared me well for that because, when you're running your own business, you rarely get honest feedback. And suddenly you put yourself out there on social media, and I never used to do that before the whole Shark Tank thing. Suddenly every day there is, of course, a lot of love, but also a ton of feedback, brickbats. I think it's made me able to handle criticism better. And you spoke about me pitching. So anyways, in my own journey, I've had hundreds of pitches and rejections and gone through that. I've been in the shoes of the entrepreneur so much longer and so many times more that every time I sit there, even on the shark seat, I'm always thinking of myself in the entrepreneur's shoes. So I'm always thinking about, what I would do if I were there, how it's hard for them, and if there was anything that I could do to make it better for them. So I thought when I would go pitch, it would be easy because I've seen myself there. But it was really hard, just like putting yourself in front of 14 cameras and talking about your business with vulnerability and having all the sharks be brutal. I think it was, I realized that it takes a lot for these entrepreneurs. But interestingly, in Shark Tank, 48% of the pitchers that come are women. So there are a lot of amazing entrepreneurs out there, women who are ready to put themselves through that because the outcome is incredible. I mean, this season, there are businesses that have seen overnight 100 times jump in their daily sales rate. And the kind of audience that, Shark Tank's now on the top 2.7% of programs of Indian television. Like 2 years back when Sony started this, all of us thought that there was no way in India that anybody would sit at 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. in front of the television and watch people negotiate money. It sounded like the most absurd idea, but they pulled it off.
And when you're talking about negotiating, one of the criticisms is that you negotiate too hard for those poor entrepreneurs. So is all their mileage...
I think you need to watch season 2 then, because every single deal was 1 crore for 1%. So I don't think there was any negotiation or scope for negotiation. And I think the entrepreneurs came so prepared that they knew that, you have to change the valuation by about 40%. But yeah, as Masaba said, you don't get what you deserve, you get what you negotiate. And I've seen that in my entire fundraising journey as well.
So what's the impact on your business? So how has that changed life for Sugar Cosmetics? That must have been one of the main purposes of even going on the show, correct?
So I think brands earlier were all about trust and consistency. But in the last 5-6 years, with Gen Z as the core consumer, brands are also about community, about purpose, about the story. And young consumers want to connect with the brand at a deeper level than just a product-led transaction. And I feel that the fact that I was able to put my story out there, including the failures that I've gone through, I think there were 2 things. One is that it helped the brand seem more relatable because, at the end of the day, our consumers are young, ambitious women, and I felt that I was able to mirror that. I was able to mirror that same ambition, resilience that the young Indian woman consumer has. And the other thing, of course, was that I feel that in our whole entire my entrepreneurial journey, there have been so many failures, and you somehow figure out that it's a marathon, not a sprint, and you figure out a way to put one step after the other and keep going. And last 2 years have been really hard for startups everywhere. Forget the 2021 funding boom that happened. That was only limited to probably 200 odd funded startups out there. But overall, it's been really tough for small businesses because of COVID and, the ups and downs. And I felt that if through my story, there are a few entrepreneurs who decide to not give up for one more day, one more week, one more year, then for me, my purpose of being on Shark Tank will get fulfilled. And of course, for me, the third thing was to connect with young women entrepreneurs. There's so much that I've learned about, Gen Z women consumers, the kind of businesses that are being made in smaller cities, led by women of all age groups, starting from 18 to 80. I think that, again, I took away so much in terms of just understanding what's happening in Bharat. And many times we get stuck in our echo chambers, sitting in metros and trying to create products for Bharat. But when you work closer with entrepreneurs coming from Bharat, I think it changes that.
How many of these conversations do you continue post the show? How many of these entrepreneurs are you in touch with? Or, I mean, I know it's not possible to be with everybody, but how
I think in
consciously do
season
you
one,
do it?
all of us were very optimistic on how much time we'll be able to invest. But I think we realized that there are the best entrepreneurs, they seek out help and they show up at the sugar office every month, trying to connect with some of our leadership team, learning how we're doing content, learning how we're doing sales, getting help on their fundraising, sharing more transparently the updates on the business progress, the good news and the bad news. But there are many others that prefer to have investors not intervene too much, and that's also a good thing. I feel as an angel investor, you have 1%, 2%, 5%. You cannot change the outcome of the business. It's finally the entrepreneur that has to go through the journey and, determine their course and their destiny. So the best thing you can do is just give them what they want. If they want space, give them space. If they want help, if they want connects, of course, go out of the way to help them. So.
And how about your own time? There's so much time that goes on filming Shark Tank. Does that take away from your business? How do you manage?
Luckily, the shoots are on weekends, so Friday to Sunday. So it is taxing because the hours are long. For a pitch that gets aired for 10 minutes, it is shot for like about an hour, 10 minutes. And that's how Sony is able to get the juiciest 10 minutes, which work for the audience out there. So over a period of time, I think, those long hours where you're doing like 7, 8 pitches a day become tough. But as soon as the shoot gets over, you start missing that because, it's so much fun in terms of the inspiration that you have, like all the new ideas. You think you've seen it all. And then there'll be somebody who'll come out there and talk about, solving a problem like, टैप में पानी नहीं आता है हमारे गांव में तो नल में एक सीटी है कि जैसे ही पानी आएगा सबको सीटी बजेगी कि पानी आ गया है बाल्टी भर लो stuff like that you've never imagined the problems that people are working on and I feel that that kind of inspiration is what really keeps you going and yeah.
Give us a behind the scenes moment on Shark Tank. I'm sure everyone asks you, but tell us something we've not heard before.
Tell a room of like 150 people or something. I think behind the scenes we're a bunch of school kids and the entire with like this showrunner who's like this monitor and we're always like fighting. You are the one who came late this time. You are going to ask less questions. So like in a classroom, you have this little squabbles around like stop asking so many questions and stop being the teacher's pet and stop coming late and all of that. I think we're really behave like little kids and we spend so much time together that I always joke about it that if I could do an entire interview as one of my co-sharks, I could do it because I now know exactly for what question, what their response will be, what business, how they would react to. In fact, there are times where I'm listening to a question and I'm going, yeah, Piyush would respond like that. Oh, Aman would say this. So
You've spoken very openly about failure, frustration, so on and so forth. You've raised phenomenal rounds of funding. And Sugar, of course, is a much-loved brand. But like you said, the ecosystem is going through its challenges, and so are a lot of the consumer brands out there right now. What are you anticipating in terms of the squeeze or the kind of pressures we may see in the next 6 months, and how are you looking to cope with them?
I think good businesses thrive irrespective of the market situation, and I think the 2021 euphoria was a bit extreme. Very honestly, I don't think we have raised shitloads of money. We've raised like just about enough because I've always found it hard to raise capital because I still feel that there isn't as much interest for businesses, which are firstly creating products for women, and secondly, which have a woman co-founder. And the numbers say it. Like
You still feel that beauty industry is one of the
just
fastest
look at the
growing
data,
industries.
right? I mean,
Yeah.
you're talking about this is one of those things, unlike say literacy or women in workforce, where we are really off from the West. This is one of those areas where we are very close because it's messed up in the US as well. It's like in the US, it's 2.3% of the capital goes to women-led companies. In India, it's probably 1%. So we're actually all just messed up as far as capital that's going to women-run businesses is concerned. There is a lot of conversation around it, which I'm grateful for because it first starts with the conversations. And 10 years back, it was obnoxious, which it isn't now. But I think putting their money where their mouth is what will bring this number up to about at least 20-25%, which is the number of women-led businesses that in the Indian ecosystem, like 20-25% of the businesses in India, if you include like the small entrepreneurs, are run by women. But funding is only going to less than 2% of them. When that changes and these two become similar, then we know that there's real change that's happening.
So when will your next round then due?
No, much earlier.
All right, Vinita, thank you so much for your time. We wish you all the best and thanks
Thank
for
you.
joining us here at MPW. A big round of applause, please.